Rommel's force was just decimated by a bunch of mass divers. Now, normally I don't count the teaser for the next episode in my reviews, but this was hinted at the end of episode 9, so this isn't just coming out of nowhere. Rommel says that the mass divers have gotten so bad that they finally need to do what I thought they should have done in episode 2, call a system administrator, call tech support, call the admins, whatever you want to call it. Call somebody. This is some convoluted process where Kyoya has to secure the system, and I've heard of getting red in the face, but yikes. After all this visual hoopla, we see that the Game Master is the diver from SD Gundam Force. I don't know if this was intentional, but Rommel is using a Gunpla from Reconquista G, an anime that had, let's say, mixed reviews. Kyoya's Gunpla is from Gundam Age, and now the person who's the system administrator is using something from SD Gundam Force. I'm now wondering if the CEO of the company is using a G savior and then the board of directors are using doozy bots. It's almost like the more powerful a character is in the world of GBN, the less popular the series their Gunpla came from is. I don't know if this is gonna raise awareness for SD Gundam Force or not. Also, I can't call this guy GM because that's already a thing in Gundam, so I'm just gonna have to call him the Game Master because that's not gonna get tiresome at all. The Game Master explains to Kyoya that mass divers are actually using some sort of something that's actually put in the Gunpla, so when you scan it, it scans the cheating device and then you activate it in-game. The problem is that GBN doesn't detect anything wrong. It treats all these mass diver shenanigans as normal gameplay. It's almost like a game company shipped a buggy, incomplete game and just expects everyone to just deal with it.
分かっている。しかし、ブレイクデカールを使用したダイバーがいくら自供したとしても、 This
is actually in keeping with Article 38 of Japan's constitution. Basically, you can't just be convicted based on a confession. There is a lot more to it than that, obviously, and I'm not going to get into the Japanese legal system here, but more importantly, GBN is a platform that respects its users' rights. Maybe they actually think of your GBN account as your own personal property, and they can't just ban your account without probable cause.
パトロールを強化しているが、GBN は広大だ。我々の数では手に負えない。それが我々運営側の実情だ。
Back at the space bar, and yes, that's what I'm gonna call it, Rommel thinks that maybe the system admins aren't telling us everything, which is understandable given that certain tech companies, I'm not mentioning any by name, have had their security compromised and they don't tell their customers. The other possibility is that the mass divers might have actually gotten to the heart of GBN, the main program.
メインプログラム。この世界の神とでも言うべき存在。
We'll deal with that Deus Ex Machina later. For now, Riku gets a message from Kyoya, everyone in Riku's force meets up at the hub area, and then they head over to Kyoya's force nest, which is a giant castle.
何しやがるこのキツネ野郎。まったく乱暴な動物だな。調教がなってない。だと。お手。
There's the silliness I expect from build divers. There's apparently a lot of famous people here. You've got Randy, who we've never seen before, the Char clones, Maggie, and they're all here because these are people Kyoya trusts with this extremely dangerous mission, and Kyoya makes it very clear that this is dangerous and you don't have to participate. Shafre, you laugh, but I've heard it all. I can't play GBN. I have soccer club. I can't play GBN. I have to go to work. I can't play GBN. I found a real girlfriend who actually likes anime and totally exists. What do we think of that, Rommel?
We need to be strong. So what are we gonna do? Shoot them out!
The plan is to find out where the mass divers are hiding, so then they can get the user ID of the leader and presumably report him to the system admins and finally get him banned. Rommel sent a spy to pose as someone looking to buy a brake decal and... When I saw this, I was worried Build Divers was going to take the easy route and say that the spy had his account deleted or was in some kind of cyber coma because the mass divers are that evil.
ログアウトした諜報員のリアルからロンメル大佐に連絡があった。
Instead, the show uses the fact that GBN is a video game to its advantage by saying that where the spy was killed in-game is how they actually locate where the mass divers are hiding. They take it a step further and avoid making the head mass diver look incompetent by saying that this was actually part of his plan. He wanted to test out his new brake decals.
オーガは100期は有志連合に参加していないんですか?
Ogre's not here right now because when he learned that Doji was a mass diver, his whole force went on a self-imposed suspension. The show doesn't really explain exactly how that worked, so I don't know if they all decided that unanimously or if Ogre just had to put his foot down and say, look, my brother screwed up, so none of us can play GBN for a while. This could be an effective, albeit cruel way to punish Doji, considering what the other members of his force might say. In the beginning of the episode, the Game Master acknowledges that it's inappropriate for Kyoya to be able to use his connections like this.
いくらクローズドベータテストでデバッグを共にしたとはいえ、私は運営側の人間。一プレイヤーである君とこのような形で接触していい立場では。
Compare that to now, where the Game Master is helping Kyoya find out where the mass divers are, and when it turns out that the mass divers are hiding in this low-level server, he uses his special admin privileges to open it up to everybody so Kyoya can attack, and then to make sure that the mass divers don't escape,
運営権限を使い、現サーバーを封鎖する。
I guess he changed his mind since the beginning of the episode. Also, the admins apparently have to log into GBN, go to this special virtual office in order to use their admin privileges, as opposed to just typing these commands on a computer like a normal person. I know why they did it, it's supposed to keep with the theme, but as someone who actually works on computers, I find this hilarious. Kyoya's plan is pretty simple. As the champion, he's gonna lead a small assault team, including Riku because main character, and pretty much everybody else is just gonna cover the assault team. The battle doesn't really have a lot of complex fight choreography, it's mostly different mobile suits shooting at each other, showing off their different abilities. Technically, Maggie's Gunpla is the Strike Freedom with the Strike Noir backpack, and the end result is Pink Death Scythe. I just want to know if we're going to get any unique dialogue for any of the Gundam crossover games. Last time we saw this giant cannon was in episode 5. It was only half the Gunpla, probably less than half the power, but now for the payoff. Now that a path has been cleared, it's time for Kyoya and his assault team. As the assault team charges in, Sarah tells Riku to go the other way because she can sense where the real mastermind is, somehow. But it turns out she was right because the assault team is heading into a trap and Randy, piloting a Mobius Zero, gets taken out by Providence Gundam. This is a pretty obvious cliche, introducing this new character who's supposed to be the 7th strongest player, and then, oh no, he was killed to emphasize how serious this is, now Kyoya's all alone. But I think they realized how cliche this is and decided to have fun with it, considering, I don't want to get into spoilers, but Providence Gundam and Mobius Zero are natural enemies. Sarah is the one doing the navigating, and I would like to know how she can sense where he is as well. This is a pretty effective, albeit predictable cliffhanger. The theme for this episode seems to be that the stakes are higher now and the scale of the conflict has increased. The episode literally starts with Kyoya standing over this planet talking to the Game Master about the fate of GBN. Follow that up with Kyoya and Rommel's conversation at the spacebar, and they didn't have to add this detail. But by expanding it, by showing that this simple background from episode 3 is actually part of this larger area, it reinforces that idea of now things are getting serious. Build-A-Divers isn't the master of suspense or anything, but I am looking forward to see how things resolve in the next episode. This is the Hypervisor, signing off.